City of Stevens Point Police and Fire Commission meeting, recorded December 3, 2019.
All right, I will call to order the December 3rd meeting of the Stevens Point Police and Fire Commission. Leanne, would you be kind enough to take the roll, please?
Carlson?
Here.
Kirschling?
Here.
Moore?
Here.
Westcott?
Here, and Commissioner Ostrowski will be joining us momentarily, so we, of course, will look forward to that. Item number 2 this afternoon, with the concurrence of the Commission, after item 2, I'm going to move up item 7, the promotion of Andrew to probationary police sergeant. So if the Commission concurs, we will do that after my 2-hour report to the city.
All right.
The one thing,
Can we get rid of your report too?
boy, that's risky on evaluation day. I am so proud of you, Chief. All right. In just a little while, we are going to, Bob, perfect, I'll wait for you. I said you'd be joining us in a few minutes, and you walked in the door in 30 seconds, so well done. I'll let you get your coat off. And
They rehearsed that, by the way.
that's right. Wait till you see who joins us next.
Santa?
Yeah, he's already here.
I like that call.
All right. In just a little bit after the public portion of this meeting, this commission is going to reconvene into a closed session, executive session, for the finalization of the evaluations for Fire Chief Robert Finn, Stevens Point Police Chief Martin Skiba. That process is, at this point, still closed to the public because of the sensitive personnel and nature of many of the goals in this area. Some of them are, for the lack of a better term, need to be reviewed and finalized in that venue. But I want to report to mainly to the community that's here and to the public. You can have great faith in Chief Finn and Chief Skiba. Any objective review of the work that these two, with their management teams, assistant chiefs, subordinates, sergeants, deputy chiefs, assistant chiefs, assistant chief, right, Chief Moody? I always want to call them deputy chief. That's more of my age. The work they are doing with the men and women who represent the Stevens Point Police Department, Fire and EMS is exemplary. This community can be comfortable in knowing that you are served by a team of highly trained and incredible professionals. And we're proud of the work that all of them do, day in and day out. And some of it gets reported here month after month to the commission. The vast majority of it goes without really a public thank you or a job well done. But in public, I think my colleagues would join me, Chief Finn, Chief Skiba, congratulations. You served this community with honor and distinction, and we look forward to that continuing in the year 2020. Thank you for your hard work. And we, of course, will go into incredible detail after this meeting with the chiefs in closed session. Also, after we have concurred on the goals for 2020, I have invited both Chief Finn and Chief Skiba to do a public presentation working together to present to the commission in January some of the initiatives, the programs, the vision that they have for their divisions in the year 2020. Now, I think if we were to ask both chiefs to go into detail, the meeting would go several hours because of the incredible work they do. But I also think the community should be aware of some of the projects, the programs, the work that is ahead, not only in 2020, but beyond. So I'm going to ask the chiefs, and if they wish to use their assistant chiefs as part of the presentation, that would be most welcome. So I've asked them to do that. With that, I'm going to move to item 7, which is the promotion of Andrew to probationary police sergeant. Chief Skiba, you have the floor, sir. Or is it Chief Center? Chief Skiba.
Thank you very much. So with the recent retirements or officers that have left two other agencies, some wishing to take on different roles within the city of Stevens Point. We had an opportunity for a promotional opportunity within our department, and with that, going through the process, Lead Officer Andrew Paschal was one of our applicants. He's served this community for over 6 years already, has held a position of leadership in the lead position on patrol. He also serves on our SWAT team. Additionally, you may recall, I think it is about a year and a half ago, he also had put on a presentation for you looking at various options and opportunities that we could utilize potentially horses within our community. The point being is we have a young officer here who's passionate about our community, who serves it very well, and is seeking to look outside necessarily of what we've traditionally done to take care of this community. And I look forward to the many years moving forward with Officer Andrew Paschal as one of our leaders here. And so with that, I'm recommending that he be promoted in the probationary role of sergeant with the City of Stevens Point Police Department.
What is the effective date, sir?
So the effective date actually would be today then, upon recommendation from this council commission.
Very good. The chair will entertain a motion to,
I'll make a motion to promote Andrew to probationary sergeant effective today.
I'll second.
seconded by Commissioner Kirschling. Officer Andrew, is there anything you wish to say to the commission before we tell you you are out of uniform?
Thank you, appreciate it.
Well, we'd like a little longer speech.
All right, with that being said, all in favor of the recommendation and full concurrence of the Police and Fire Commission that you are promoted to probationary sergeant effective this date, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no.
Lead back.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Comes in as the patrolman, walks out as the
Not bad. I forgot that he's also on honor guard. He was walking so slowly. I was like, yeah, that's honor guard speed.
All right, item number 3, the approval of the minutes. Members of the Police and Fire Commission, you have the minutes from our November 5th meeting in your packet, including the presentation on homelessness, which was shared with you by Chief Zenner. If there are no editorial modifications or amendments required, I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes and place them on file, please.
So moved.
Commissioner Moore,
I'll second it.
seconded by Commissioner Carlson. Thank you. All in favor of approving the minutes and affirming the action taken by the commission on its meeting Tuesday, November 5th, 2019, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Item number 4, members of the commission, you have distributed today the bills. If you want to take a moment, I have reviewed them and approved them. There's a couple items that you may or may not have an immediate question over. The cover sheet is self-explanatory on where the general fund expenditures are in fire and EMS. If you were to look at, let me pull this packet apart here. I'm going to highlight a couple in the police department in their bills. You see a bill we're on page 1 of their actual bills for the month, $3,720 for video licenses. That is part of our cyber crimes software, Chief. Have I got this right?
That is correct, yes.
That's part of the cyber crime software. That's an annual. Some of you who've been on the commission for a while recognize that. Chief, is there anything you wish to tell the commission as we scroll down the page? There's $18,949 for the canine housing for the dog, or were you planning an update in your monthly report, sir?
Regarding the bills, I was going to just point out that with the computer forensics, as it is, clearly we're aware as it's ongoing. We're also recognizing that To be more specialized, we are working not only with Portage County, but Marathon County as well, recognizing that if there's an area that we can specialize a little bit more, and they can specialize a little bit more, we can share the resources and not kind of burden ourselves with a full cost. And so this is one of those things that we felt we needed to retain because we utilize this piece of equipment a lot. So that's why the annual license of that. Regarding the K-9 program, it's moving forward. We're still looking at mid-December when Officer Blue will return to our community, and that is going very well.
All right, the other one I would point out to my colleagues is in the ambulance. There is a $6,900 item computer for the fire department. I think it's self-explanatory. It's a placement. Any questions from my colleagues on the bills? Another minute or two to look at them, or when you're comfortable, I'll entertain a motion to approve and place the bills for the month or year-to-date on file. Thank you, Commissioner Ostrowski, to approve.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Moore. Are there any questions? None? All in favor of approving the bills as submitted, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Item number 5, the approval of the fire department eligibility list. Members of the commission, you have in your packet a memo from Chief Robert Finn, dated this date, on the entry-level hiring list. Chief Finn?
Thank you, sir. We conducted these interviews in late October, and we couldn't compile the list before the November meeting, so I'm presenting this to you. To approve this list will be good for 1 year. The list that we have now currently has one eligible candidate on it. The city council has approved the hiring of one. We will contact him in January, and then this list will be good for 1 year.
Questions? All right, I will move approval and acceptance of the entry-level hiring list as submitted to the Police and Fire Commission by the Fire Chief. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Kirschling. Thank you, Joseph. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Thank you. Item number, where are we here? Item number 8, the police chief's report.
The fire chief report.
Thank you. I didn't roll right by it. Thank you, Commissioners. Fire chief's report. Please don't take it personal, Robert.
President Westcott,
Yeah, pull that down right here, yeah.
you get trouble, you touch the microphone. I'm gonna pass this down. If you could sign both of these so they could be passed. Oh, you gotta come to city council meetings when they say don't touch the
Oh, I
microphone.
had enough of those in my career. I don't know that I need any more city council meetings.
Few things to report that's not on fire chief's report is that President Westcott, you asked for a picture of the new engine that for the budget presentation, and it was sent over to Carrie so it can be put into the city's budget.
Great.
And we did update ours, and it will be sent over tomorrow. There's a few corrections that's got to be made.
That fire truck that had been pictured had been retired, right? And that was the old Quint, wasn't it?
I don't even know which
I
one
don't-
was.
I think that was a picture of the old Quint. Do you even use it anymore?
I don't know
JB?
which one was. I don't know which one was pictured.
It is a backup apparatus on Station 2. It's now called Truck 3. But we still do have it.
Right. I thought he was talking about the old engine. I was like, no. That's gone to Nicaragua.
Yeah, that one I knew was gone.
You drove it down?
Huh?
He drove it down. All right. Please continue, sir.
Okay. In the fire chief's report, we did a live fire train on Washington Avenue. As standards get harder to comply with, and as houses become more harder to get, this is invaluable training for the fire department. Anytime we can do live fire training. They were out there all day. It went well, and it was a great experience for everyone involved. We had people from the Citizens Academy that were able to make it during the day. We put them in there. Sarah was in the burning building and doing a video for the fire department for recruitment and retention. So I think it was a very successful day.
If you could pause for 1 second, that is really exciting news to hear, and I think I speak on behalf of the commission when that promotional video is produced by Sarah. We'd like to see it. I'm sure it's very professional. Sarah, it turned out okay? Good. Thank you, sir. Please.
Well, after how nicely you spoke of me, I either want you to write my eulogy, or maybe you could do the voiceover on the video.
Well, I hope I don't have to do your eulogy. How's that?
No, you're second. Oh, evaluation day, right?
I got in trouble for making comments.
I lost control of this at about 2:02, didn't I?
Operation Warm Coat is in full swing. I believe they're still out delivering coats for kids that need them, and we're going to deliver upwards of 350 coats this year.
Oh, wow.
How many, Bob?
350.
Wow.
Is that number? That's the number I was last told. Okay.
Congratulations.
So, no, Local 484, and they do a great job with that in the charitable foundation. Other than that, everything that's in the fire report, if you have any questions.
Chief, can I ask a question? I've been meaning to ask this for the last 2 meetings, but what are other fires? I saw there were two last month, 46 for this year, and looking at all the other ones broken down, I'm thinking, what are the other fires?
Ones that don't fit into, we have what we call the National Incident Fire Reporting System, NIFRS.
Okay,
So it's a book this thick that you have to put in what type of fire you had. And if it doesn't fit one of them categories, that this is a national system, so the federal government designed it, I'll leave it at that. And there's your answer. You always have your other,
oh, okay,
okay?
all right.
That
Since
makes
this
sense?
is our, I'm sorry.
When you were deer hunting and your little heater caught fire, that would be an other fire.
That would have fallen into that. Or, you know, it just seems like it's broken down with other ones. I'm baffled what 46 other fires would be. Okay,
I will get the type of other fires.
all right, that's all right.
And
I
report
just-
back to you next month on the most,
Make him read the whole book.
what the most other fires that we have. How's that
okay,
sound?
that's all right, I was just curious.
Commissioner Ostrowski?
Yeah.
Yeah, she shed, burn on the seashell shed.
Commissioner Ostrowski?
Chief Finn, I'd just like to, on a personal note, commend your department. Unfortunately, twice this summer I've had to use your department, and they were nothing but totally professional, and I could not commend you as their leader and the people that work for you. They were absolutely terrific. Thank you.
I appreciate the kind words.
Please pass it on to
I
them.
will. The men, the Stevens Point Fire Department, I can't say men and women because we don't have any. What they do on a daily basis, what President Westcott talked about, going thankless, they do that every day, go above and beyond, and they make us look good and make our jobs a lot easier. But they do that on a daily basis, and they're the ones that should be commended for the efforts they put in. But thank you for the kind words.
Assistant Chief Moody, were you going to add something to the other fire category?
Yes, I was just gonna answer his question for you. So when we look at those other fires throughout the month, they're going to be something like the chief had explained, that they don't fall into the structure fire category, they don't fall into a cooking fire, whether it was contained or non-contained. We would be looking at a rubbish fire, maybe like a pull-up on a dumpster fire in the UW. Or we would go to something where we actually have visible smoke and flames, but it doesn't fit one of those other criteria. We place it in, or we did have some type of working fire, we did use water, it doesn't fit one of those other criteria.
Okay. I was just curious, thank you both. Yeah.
Since it is our December meeting, you want to talk a little bit about the Christmas wreath that has appeared? Well, actually, they're on both stations, right? Yeah.
Yes, we have Keep the Wreath Green. It's all green. There is one white bulb that's in there every year for the fallen. And then if you see a blue bulb in there, which we had one last year because it's countywide, is for a fatality fire within the county. And the purpose of this from Thanksgiving to the first of the year is for every fire that we have, we change one green bulb to a red bulb.
All right, are there other questions for our fire chief on the submittal of his report? I'll accept a motion.
I'll so move.
I'll second.
All in favor of accepting the fire chief's report as submitted to the commission, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Item 6, the police.
Number 8.
That's number 6 on my list.
Oh,
The police chief's report. Chief Skibba.
Thank you. So a couple of things not on the list. Just as a reminder, and as this goes out, this Saturday will be the Public Safety Salvation Army Bell Ringing Challenge between the various groups, whether it is the Stevens Point firefighters, the Stevens Point Police Department, the Sheriff's Office, Plover, and whatnot. So whichever kettle you wish to put in your nickels, pennies, dimes, quarters, and $50 bills, please do so. It goes for a great cause. Salvation Army does a lot for our community, and so it would be greatly appreciated. Come out there and support your local public safety from 10 to 4 o'clock this Saturday.
where will the police department be?
The police department will be at Triggs. I believe the fire department is at Fleet, is at Fleet Farm. So go there often, go there frequently, whatever, early and often. So the other event, however, sadly, I believe the commission is aware of already, wanted to actually say thank you publicly. However, we had a shooting early Thanksgiving morning and wanted to, again, thank the agencies, the fire department, ambulance service coming out, having the Portage County Sheriff's Office. They utilized one of their canines. We utilized one of our canines for clearing the building. And so everybody working there on scene did a fabulous job and resolved the issue as best as it could be at the time. And so moving forward in the way that we need to with that. To that point, I would segue in the report. I wanted to make the commission aware of a couple of things. So as we talk about the drug issues within our community, know that we are aggressively trying to address them, and we unfortunately have had overdose deaths within our community. And with our detective bureau, when they can determine who was involved, who provided the drugs, we are pursuing charges. In this case, we had 2 overdose deaths that homicide charges were pursued with the district attorney's office. Additionally, I wanted to let you know that after we arrest people and charge them, the Knights Inn standoff that was approximately a year ago, we actually had a conviction here just a couple weeks ago with 7.5-year sentence for that individual. So again, the men and women of the department working with the district attorney's office, we're resolving stuff as best we can.
I certainly concur. Are there questions for Chief Skibba? Yes, Commissioner.
Chief, I just got one question for you. Those overdose deaths, were those in Point?
So yes, these would be overdose deaths that have occurred within the city. I know as our drug unit works in a MEG perspective through central Wisconsin, they're involved in those investigations as well, but these would be specific to the city of Stevens Point. One other, as Chief Finn was reminding me, the arson investigation, working with the fire department for a fire that occurred at 1430 North Torn, where we were able to charge the arsonist with that as well. So,
Commissioner Moore.
On your report, you have 4 weapon incidents, and 1 was gun and 1 was knife. What were the other 2?
So other, sorry.
It falls. I wanted to ask that question, but after the fire one, I thought, I'm not.
I should have left it for him.
I think in the future, we're going to, I think in the future, we're just going to skip the December meeting.
I apologize. I recall that 1 was a baseball bat, and unfortunately, I'm forgetting what the other one was. But if they tend to be typically, if they're identified other than this, is typically going to be a blunt force weapon that's used or not intended to be a weapon, but used as a weapon.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Chief, I think the commission would appreciate hearing briefly some feedback on, and I know you have received it, on the homeless report that Assistant Chief Zenner provided to the community in November. There was an additional follow-up presentation of some sort to the full Common Council. So I'm interested in what type of reaction and feedback have you and the others here at the department received on the presentation? What's next, and how was it received in social media? A lot there, I know.
So a couple of things. Mayor Wiesa did invite one of the staff from the warming shelter to do a quick presentation to council, providing the information of how many individuals within the community they have served over the last few years and the things moving forward with that. I actually have a meeting later this week, again with representatives from United Way to discuss, again, some of the, everybody has a resource or set skills that they're going to be able to bring to bear for this situation. We definitely have individuals that want to be able to do more but are looking to work collaboratively. So I think we did what we intended, we met our goal, which was to get the conversation reinvigorated and understanding that we can't just keep stepping over people in our community, that we actually have to stop and recognize that there is a need, and as best we can address it with the resources we have here, make it fit. So it's definitely started that conversation up again, and I believe with the individuals we're bringing into the group of collaboration that we are going to at least have a better process. So minimally, at least, as I said, our first responders are going to be able to go, okay, this fits over here as a resource, and we now can move you in that direction. Where right now, I think there's a level of confusion there.
I see there was a arrest at the library just the other day, wasn't there? I don't know if that fell into the criteria of the homelessness, but that was the first thought when I read it.
And unfortunately, and it was. Unfortunately, this time of the year, if people are disorderly, we address it, and in that particular case, I believe they actually were advised not to return, and they chose to return.
Chief, would you assess if it's possible, and maybe one meeting is not a good test, but it was the first time that the commission's monthly presentation was streamed on the internet, on our Facebook site. Any reaction, any feedback, any thoughts on that? Should we continue it in 2020? You want to think about it, or was it an overwhelming success? How'd it go?
Well, for those that I've spoken with and those in the media field, for the time of day that it was presented, they were pleasantly surprised by the amount of people that were engaged in actually having communications back and forth with our personnel at the time. I believe it was at one point there were over 40 that were actually engaged and communicating.
Go ahead.
So at least I can envision several topics, at least from the police department, that we would like to invite that level of communication again moving into 2020. I think there are some that are going to be more basic factual, here's the information, so I don't know that the dialogue would be there to do that, but I think it may be a case by case.
Okay, good. Are there questions for our chief of police in addition to what we've heard?
I'll make a motion to accept the police chief's report.
Second.
And seconded by Commissioner Ostrowski. All in favor of accepting the chief's report as submitted, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Item 9, we're going to adjourn into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin Statute 1985, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee of which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility for the annual performance evaluations of the police chief and the fire chief. I will accept a motion for us to adjourn into closed session, please.
So moved.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Moore. Leanne, would you poll?
Carlson?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
Kirschling?
Yes.
A video available for viewing on the city's website, stevenspoint.com/videos.